Hey guys, welcome to Tank School. Unfortunately, Christmas is only a week away, and that is like stress-head time for Santa. And he's like, my sleigh's not going to cut it anymore, Charlie. My sleigh is too small, and all my reindeers are super lazy. They've all gone on strike. I can't handle it anymore. What am I going to do? So I was like, Santa, you know what you need? One of these. Santa's new truck. It's a Berliet GBU 15. They were made in like the 50s and 60s, and it is huge. And it would need to be to fit all of the presents of the children of the world into the back. And it's not just the truck that's big, the engine is like a million times longer than the T55's engine as well. It goes from like here at the front, way back to here. It is like the size of a car, which you would need, because Santa needs to go the whole way around the world in just one night. But there is one problem, one big problem. Santa, he calls me and he's like, Charlie, I'm never going to get into central London with this. I'm not going to meet my emissions quota. I am actually very environmentally conscious, and I don't want my truck to be spewing tons of white smoke out the exhaust here. It's like a smoke screen. Charlie, I need to sort it out so it doesn't spew all this white smoke anymore. I'm like, no problem, Santa babes, I'll take a look for you. This smoke that Santa's not happy about, great big plumes of white smoke, could be one of two issues. Either the engine's gone completely kaput, or there's a problem with the fuel system somewhere. Now, hopefully it's the latter, because if the engine's gone completely kaput, we'll all just go to the pub and cry into our beers. So I'm going to show you what we've been working on so far. Here we are, actually inside the Berliet truck, and this here is the engine. So these little bad boys are what we thought might be causing the initial problem, the fuel injectors. So we thought that maybe instead of putting a spray into the engine, they're maybe like releasing a little bit of a dribble. So that would then cause like an incomplete combustion, and it would all like turn into white smoke and basically turn the engine into a pile of crap. So we thought, oh, we'll just, pop off these injectors and have a little look at them. But you can see we tried turning these and getting them out, and it just wasn't happening. So we've kind of shelved that idea for now, and we started looking at the fuel injection pump, which into itself was a whole can of worms. So we started looking at it, and it's full of oil. And we were like, what the hell? Like, there should always be a little bit of oil in a fuel injection pump, but this was like almost full to the top. So what the hell was going on there? Like, why has this been allowed to fill up? It's always the case where you take the cover off this thing, and suddenly a whole like plethora of problems present themselves to you. You're like, oh, fantastic. Was this like this the whole time? Whoops. So for example, this dipstick down here on the fuel injection pump, that was all taped up, and you don't normally tape a dipstick up. That kind of defeats the purpose of a dipstick. So that was obviously why it had been allowed to fuel up, because there was an automatic sort of oil supply dripping into the fuel injection pump, which might have worked for a little while, but after God knows what are we looking at, 70 years now, it's going to slowly fill up to the top. So we're not quite sure why that was designed that way, but after investigating it, we think it's pretty safe to disconnect that whole oil system and monitor it manually using that dipstick. Similarly, there was like a little oil drip feed that fed into the fuel lift pump that was connected just down here. We took the fuel lift pump up, cleaned it all up. We put a new little O-ring in there because we thought maybe that there's some loosening or like wear there. So we've just put a new O-ring in, and that's all good as new. But instead of connecting it directly to the oil line, we're just gonna have a little kind of beaker of oil and monitor how much oil is going into that ourselves. So it's all a little bit more personal than maybe the French army intended, but we're confident we can monitor it more closely ourselves rather than having it all automatic, because obviously that didn't work. So while we're investigating all of this, we start noticing like, ooh, the hoses on those coolant pipes are looking a bit shoddy. So we disconnected them. As you can see, they came from here, and they're a bit of a faff to get to, but once we got them off, we could clean them properly and then replace them. So just for comparison, this is the first of many that we've actually cleaned up. We've taken away all that like crappy rubber that was around there and leaking, and we're going to replace it with some brand new silicone rubber hose that we've bought. And it's bright blue, so Manchester City best football team, and we're going to cut it to size and push it on the end there, and you know, pretty much good as new. Hopefully that will fix the seal. So just again for comparison, there is the nice, clean, lovely tank school new coolant thing, and this side is the nasty ass minging mouldy and I'm sorry, I just get carried away. Also worth mentioning, we've got to replace the gaskets on here because they're completely shot really. They're probably leaking as well. So you can see we've cleaned it up beautifully. It's like brand new. And then we've made our own gaskets because just you try finding something like this on the internet. So we've made our own, and they'll fit on there. And then a little bit of gasket sealant, and straight back on the engine. And of course, the blood and pain we went through to get down here into the depths of hell to retrieve some hydraulic hoses. Because we could see that they were screwed. They were in a really shoddy state. We had to get them out, but getting down there and then when we get there, we suddenly discovered that in the thousands of spanners we have here at Tank School, not one fit. We had to get like special spanners, which took like 2 weeks to get in, just to undo, so we could get them out and actually start, like, you know, thinking about restoring and fixing and replacing. So back in the shop and inspecting this pipe, and it's pretty gone. Granted, it's lasted 70 years, but it's not going to last much longer. Look at it, it looks like it's about to stab me to death. It's completely shot, so we don't have much choice other than to try and replace it. So we've got to get ourselves a new hydraulic hose with some fittings. So we were like, where are we going to find one of them? We tried contacting a hydraulic manufacturer, seeing if they had anything, and they laughed us out the room like, I've never seen anything like that in my life. In my 50 years of working in hydraulic hoses, I've never seen anything so ridiculous. Okay, dude, looks like we're gonna have to make our own one. So we tried to find some fittings like this on the end online, but don't exist. So we're gonna have to use these ones. So we've got to try and carefully get them off without breaking them, which was quite an ordeal. What we had to do was use a Dremel and cut these seams into it, sort of, and then pry it off, and eventually we got them off, so we can just reuse these, but we now need some braided stainless steel hose. So this is our brand new hose, and it's fantastic. It's stainless steel, so it's not going to go all rusty and horrible, and we can just bung this in one end and then use one of these to tie it all in, and bish bash bosh, we're going to just put it in where we took that out. But it's never that simple, is it? So again, while we've got it all uncovered, we might as well look at the oil filters, I guess. Actually, this is something we've been meaning to do for like 2 years, but you know, it's such a massive job because you've got to take everything off, and you know, now we're doing it. Now's the time to do it. So here we are. The injectors, not the injectors, the oil filters are out. These are the two identical ones, and this one is like a kind of magnetic sieve. It's got like a kind of fine mesh in it. So this one we like clean up and put back in. But these two, the cartridges inside the oil filters, need replacing. And that's the problem, because we've got to find cartridges that fit. With something like this, it's the same old story. Like, oh, it's a 70-year-old truck engine. No one knows what the hell these are, and trying to get components that just simply fit is nigh on impossible. You've got to go, you've got just hundreds of hours of trawling the internet, searching far and wide, trying to find the right components that will fit into these filters is, it's impossible. So, well, evidently not impossible, because we've found these, which we think will fit. We'll soon find out. So these just go into the centre kit after we've cleaned them, and they're supposed to be replaceable. So that should be relatively simple. So we just put it all back together, clean it all up, nice and simple, put it back in the engine. Oh, you forgot something, Charlie. You need new rubber rings, except these rubber rings are a completely non-standard size. So then you have to go on the internet for another 150 hours trying to find non-standard size rubber rings. So we think we've found some. So we've just got to try and put it all in and brush it all back together and pray it works. Well, kids, this is serious business. You've obviously seen all the effort, all the work that goes into maintaining a truck like this, and we've got to fix it up for Santa. Because if we don't manage to finish it, then nobody's getting Christmas presents this year. It's really that simple. If we don't fix this truck by, Santa actually called me and he was like, Charlie, the latest I can have this truck is like 10 p.m. on December the 24th, because he needs a couple of hours to load it, load it full of your presents. But if we don't get it done in time, then he's not going to get around the world. It really is that serious. So you better wish us all luck here at Tank School, because we've got a lot of work to do. And if we don't fix it, then I'm going to be on Santa's naughty list for the rest of my life. So please wish us luck. And we, all of us here at Tank School, are wishing you a very Merry Christmas, with or without presents. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to find out if we fixed it. I'm Charlie, this is Tank School. Goodbye.